Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today we are covering Beast, which came out this year, I believe, or last year. It's a recent movie. But one of those two. But before we go into the review, let's grab our cups and talk about tea.
I think it was last year.
What is time?
I don't know.
It
all runs together.
Yes. I am drinking the Plum Deluxe Peach Bellini Herbal Tea. It's got rooibos tea, apple pieces, apricot pieces, strawberry pieces, mango pieces, orange peel, pineapple pieces, rose petals, and peach and papaya essence.
All the pieces.
Unfortunately, it doesn't have any caffeine, but it sounded good, so I picked it.
Mine's got caffeine. I'm drinking the Plum Deluxe Queen's Blend Green Tea. And it's got green tea, apple pieces, orange peels, blue cornflowers, calendula, bergamot oil, lemon essence, and vanilla essence.
And thank you to Plum Deluxe for allowing us to continue to do what we love. And for our lovely tea sippers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. So for the summary of The Beast. Kind of the quick rundown is these parents separated, and kind of during that separation they find out that the mom who actually she grew up in Africa, she unfortunately had cancer and she passed, and so this father and two young girls are going to the area where their mom grew up, so that way they can pay homage to her, final respect, stuff like that. So as they're kind of
sightseeing.
Yeah, sightseeing. They're in a sanctuary, I believe, like an animal
reserve.
A reserve, thank you. And they go to a village and find that everyone in the village had been very brutally killed. And so they knew it had to be a wild animal. And you find out that it's a lion that's gone. Well, I don't know if going rogue is the correct term, but the lion doesn't have a pride. It's all on its own and it's killing people. So
yes, it is a rogue.
Okay. I didn't know if that's how
yes,
okay.
That's how they term it.
Okay. But
yes. He's pissed.
Yes.
Because his pride was killed by poachers.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's about them surviving the lion. So, yep. So for entertainment, I personally give this one a 7. And to me, my definition of a 7 is a movie that, I am willing to watch again. If you're oh, I want to watch Beast, I'll be okay, sure. Mm-hmm. But this particular movie, I'm not going to go out of my way to see it. I will say it is really good at building up the tension. Mm-hmm. And for a lot of these creature features where it's these animals that are attacking, what's the one with the crocodile? Not Lake Placid, but the newer one where it's inside. Crawl. It's we have movies that are absolutely stupid and insane and kind of almost takes you out. While this one, I feel does have a level of either from expanding on the characters or expanding some of the more factual things about lions or whatever. It does kind of immerse you a little bit better, so it feels a little bit more plausible. But I will say, yeah, the characters in this movie are really solid, especially for the type of movie that it is. Like, they didn't need to go that deep for this movie, and they did anyways. And I definitely really appreciate it, because especially at the end of the movie where they go and visit the tree that their mom was at,
That was a nice touch.
Yeah, like they really bring a good sense of closure to the movie. And I really like how they build it up and kind of like show you this is what the lion is capable of. And then so once you see it, you know that they're in trouble. But yeah, it's a really solid movie, but it's not the type of movie that I normally gravitate towards. So that's why I'm not going to necessarily have it on my roster of watching over and over again. But it is like, if you just need a movie night with an intense movie and you just want to relax for the evening, like this is definitely a good one to watch.
Yep. This one was a little tough for me to rate, because while I'm watching it, it's a good movie and it draws you in and everything, but I have so many questions. And there are things that just don't make that much sense that we'll get to in the realism, that it keeps breaking me out of the movie experience a little bit.
Yeah, they do. I mean, that's the whole thing with the movie, is it does push right up against reality.
It really does. The acting is solid.
Mm-hmm.
The acting is solid. Even for the girls, the teenage girls, they did a really good job.
And kind of a fun fact about that, apparently, like, the girls were, like, huge fans of, I forgot the actor's name, but the actor that plays their dad.
Idris Elba?
Yes, thank you. But they're, like, huge fans of him. But apparently, like, I feel like the reason why, I mean, not only them being good actors, but a part of the reason why it feels like their connection feels so genuine is while filming, they actually did get really close.
Aww.
Yeah, I thought that was a sweet touch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So they did a really good job there. The CG was really well done.
Yeah, there were times I was like, are they using an animatronic or are they using CG?
Yeah.
Like, it's that good of CG.
Yes. There are some moments where it slips a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
But, which we'll get to.
Naturally.
But it's not bad at all. It's definitely one of the higher end ones for sure. So it generally, in that regard, doesn't break you out of the movie experience. I'm going to go with a 6.75. Just because there are things that just bug me a little bit about it. Just a little too much. I can't quite give it a 7.
They kind of made the lion kind of like Michael Myers.
A little bit, yes. They made him very much serial killer-y.
Yeah, well, and then also the fact that, like, he wouldn't die.
Yes.
Like, they blew up a car,
yes.
and he's like, this is fine, I got this. Just
as he was jumping into it.
Yeah.
But yes, well, that is part of the realism that we will get to.
Yes.
But that's really all I have about Entertainment. It's an enjoyable movie. It's very intense. It's not really scary, unless you're just terrified of lions. But
they're so cute. They're vicious.
They have to be.
Yeah. But the
Think
thing
of what
that
they have to contend with. They have to be.
was like the thing that changed my opinion about lions is when I found out that like the males will often try and take over other prides, and if they do, they kill all of the cubs and start over. It's like, dang.
Yeah, because they want their line.
Yeah. So there's a story of this male lion that like connected and really liked this one cub that was from another lion, and he let him live, and the lion like was like, new papa. It's just like,
It's rare, but it does happen, yes.
yeah.
Generally, the female lions will try to distract him by fighting him just a little bit, while one or two of the other lionesses take the cubs away.
Yeah.
But
It's brutal out in the
that's even
jungle.
hard. Yeah, that's even harder for them to care for the cubs when they have to do all the things.
The wilderness is... I am very glad that we don't have to worry about that so much.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So for realism...
Yeah, that's a little tough to rate too, isn't it?
Yeah, because, like, what they were talking about with the lion facts themselves was pretty spot on. And I actually did look up, because I knew that tigers, it was possible for tigers to go rogue. Because they're, like, very connected to, like, their partners and stuff. And so I know I've heard of the story where a poacher had killed a lion's mate, and that lion decided to kill the poacher. Tiger.
Yeah.
The tiger decided to kill the poacher, and like a whole slew of people. Like it went on a murderous rampage because it's getting revenge for its mate.
And tigers and other wild animals, especially cats, will remember scents and faces.
Yeah. So
There have been many instances where tigers specifically
Yeah.
will hunt certain people down.
yeah. So it's like I knew that it was possible with tigers, but I hadn't really heard anything about lions. Like I thought it was all accidents of some sort. But
Most of them are.
There's one documented story of a lion kind of going rogue, and it's actually what's kind of terrifying is it was an entire pride of lions, and it was over like they were having trouble catching them, so it was over a several year span, but they killed like thousands of people. But there hasn't really been anything documented since then.
Well, there was also another documented case of two male lions that were attacking workers that were working on a railroad, I believe it was. They were putting down tracks and everything, and they kept attacking the workers at night. They actually made a movie about it, Ghost in the Darkness.
But that I feel like is arguably, it's like, did the lions really go rogue, or are they just like taking advantage of like...
They were without a
easy prey?
pride, and they were taking advantage. But generally, if they're without a pride and they're just roaming, they are considered rogues.
Okay. So it's like there's something that the movie does where you're like, okay, that's definitely based in realism, and especially like the characters and backstory. But then obviously, like Michael Myers' lion isn't so realistic.
And using the dude as bait.
Yeah. So it's tough because it's like I put a 3 initially, but now I'm wondering if it should be a 2 or 2.5. I don't know. It's very difficult. I think I will stick with a 3 just because the other points are so solid, at least for me. But it's like, so the characters and backstory feel very tangible and realistic. Like, there were parts where I'm like, I can't believe I'm getting emotional over this stupid movie. And I really like that even though they have like the storyline, they don't make it simple. Like they actually showed the dynamic of the father and the range of emotions that he's going through about his past. I know they were in the middle of a divorce, so I don't know if it'd be best to refer to her as his past wife or
I'm pretty sure the
ex-wife.
divorce went through.
Okay. But there were a few things, like, for the majority of the movie, the dad made pretty decent decisions. And it is established he's a doctor, so at least in that regard, it's good. Mm-hmm. But there were a few decisions he made that I'm like, this doesn't seem aligned with his character. Yeah, like whenever he's hearing the shots coming from his friend's gun, and he, unarmed, is going towards it, seeing if he needs help, why wouldn't you, like, if the guy is shooting his gun and you're in the middle of the wilderness, it's probably not the best idea to just go out there unarmed without some sort of plan.
That's true, but he's also a doctor, and his first instinct is to help.
Yeah, but...
And he did say that there was someone else out there, so he might have been thinking that his friend was trying to defend that person, and he might have been able to help that person.
Maybe, but it's like, at least... Maybe it's because I'm a chicken, but I'm not going to go out in the wild to someone who might still be fending off a wild animal without some sort of backup plan in case the animal turns to me.
I know. I know. You would be firmly in that truck with all of the doors locked and all of the windows up.
Yep. I will say even the girls were, for the most part, pretty smart, too. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't read my handwriting, but I know it was while Nora was in the car, she did something to, like, divert the lion that, like, at the time I was like, oh, that's, like, a really good idea. But,
you mean when she stabbed it with the tranquilizer?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, the fact that, like, while the lion was distracted, she stabbed it with the tranquilizer, like, that was a really good and smart move. The one thing that really did bug me, though, that really felt like a movie's got a movie moment, is when they're in the poacher's, like, base or whatever, and the dad just leaves the door open, multiple doors open, and it's like, not only, I know they think that the lion's dead, but they also have poachers that already met up with them, and I mean, I know they got slaughtered, but it's like there's more poachers than just that group, and they already established that they're not very friendly with them. So why would you leave everything open to where, if it was the poachers or the lion, if they go in, you're easier to be caught off guard than if you have everything closed? Then it's like you at least have a level of warning to, like, run or set yourself up. Just, So that kind of drove me nuts.
That's true. I think he was more focused on his daughter, though. That was bleeding heavily.
Yeah, but it's like, the way he opens the doors, it's almost, like, very deliberate. Like, I don't know. It didn't feel natural, the way that he's, like, whenever he first brings them in and he left the door open, then I justify that. But there's a part where he, like, goes in the back of the building and opens the door, and that's actually how the lion gets in. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it felt very deliberate that he opened up the door. I don't understand why he did that. But yeah, besides that, the next thing is just how hard it is for them to kill the lion. Because it's like, they give it a tranquilizer, and they're like, oh, the tranquilizer didn't last long enough, which there's no rhyme or reason why it didn't last.
I have a theory about that. She was in a very stressful situation, and the lion wasn't exactly sitting still for her to jam it in its butt.
So maybe it didn't go all the way in.
I'm thinking it didn't get the full dose.
That could be a potential, because the only other thing is if the lion was given the full dose, the only thing, from my understanding, that dictates it not being as long as they think is if the lion is really large, like larger than they would have.
Larger than the dose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also the fact that, the lion is clawing its way into the car, and the car blows up, and the lion is just like, a side of its face and body is like slightly crispy, and that's it.
Yeah, it's some burnt hair, but it's not even.
Yeah, but it's like there was there was an explosion.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't like, oh, the car was on fire.
It wasn't a little flare.
Yeah, there was a huge explosion. So I don't understand how the lion got away so unscathed in that situation. But I feel like it was a pretty sweet ending to have the two lions kill the rogue lion. That was, I liked that ending. How they kind of circled back to the other lions. But that's all I got for realism.
So I'm going to walk you through my reasoning before I give my rating.
Okay.
So their story as a whole is really solid. The way they react is really solid. The interactions are great.
The wounds.
The wounds are really good. The effects are awesome in this movie. They did a really, really good job with that. The vast majority of my issue is with the lion. And how serial killer he is.
Yeah.
Because I can see a really pissed off lion killing people because it can't necessarily distinguish bad humans from ones that want nothing to do with it. So, like, poachers, villagers, it makes no difference to this lion. They're all in his territory, or what he deems as his territory, as he's hunting for these poachers. So they were there. And cats in general are one of the few animals that will kill for sport or spite. So when they say it's not eating any of them, that made sense. He's super pissed and he's just like, F everything. I'm going to kill everything.
Yeah.
So that makes sense as well. They actually did say that not everyone in the village was dead.
Oh.
They didn't know where they were.
Okay.
Many were dead. But there were some missing, and he was hoping to be able to find them. And they came across a dude in the road.
That's right.
That was from the village as well. And he said I believe his brother was out there somewhere, and that's who he went to try to find.
That's right.
And that's when the shots went off. They never did find that dude, by the way.
Yep.
So there could have been others that survived. Now, I take issue with the fact that when they show the lion has no wounds on it at all, ever, until like after the explosion and all. Which, if it ran into a village and started slaughtering people, I feel like at least a few of them would have tried to fight back.
Yeah.
And it would have gotten at least a couple gashes here and there. Especially since it was also fighting poachers who were shooting at it. So it was untouched. It just had a bloody mouth. and bloody claws. So I take issue with that. Also the fact that it wounds the, I guess he would kind of be considered a park ranger, anti-poacher dude.
I guess.
Sort of. Anyway, so the uncle, I forget his name. So it wounds him, and I do like that they mention he was losing blood fast, he was getting dizzy, he wasn't feeling very good, it's hard for him to focus, and he ended up having to cauterize the wound himself. I also take issue with the fact that he didn't pass out from that, but because that would have hurt like a mother. But he did do it, and it did help him. It was kind of sad that it was all for naught because he ended up dying anyway.
Yeah.
But better being blown up than eaten, I guess.
Yeah.
Torn apart and eaten. Okay, so the lion also broke out the window. And many times in the movie, you see them sitting directly by the window.
Yeah.
Which I also take issue with, because no. You're not going to get me anywhere near that window. Anywhere near that open window, if I can help it. But they're just sleeping right next to the open window with a pissed off lion that wants to eat them. But it's fine. The truck goes over the cliff, and I guess it could have missed the lion, but it looked like it kind of hit the lion and should have crushed it at one point when it was rolling.
Yeah.
And then it landed, and the lion landed a little away from it. So if it didn't actually, if the truck didn't land on it while it was rolling, then okay, fine. But it kind of looked like it. I would need another rewatch for that scene just to check. But it just seemed a little off that he just was like slightly like, ow. And kind of sort of limped away, but was fine the next scene, wasn't limping or anything. And the fact that the car exploded with the lion leaping into it, and he was only slightly like burnt fur a little bit. No, there should have been a lot more fur, and it honestly looked super superficial and wasn't near as much burnt fur as there should have been, even if it didn't actually damage him. No. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No. No. And there were so many times that the main guy, the dad, was hiding from the lion on his way back to the vehicle that the lion should have found him. 100% should have found him. I could understand when he was in the water and had been covered by the water, that would mask his scent. But when he's in a tree, right above it, no. No. He would have been kibble. For sure. 100%. I also wonder why the two lions from the other pride took that long to attack the rogue. Because you could see him in the background just kind of laying there watching for a little bit. No, as soon as that lion came into view, they would have been up and making sounds like, get the F out of our territory, like warning sounds.
Yeah, I agree.
There was nothing. There was nothing until the fight was just about over. And then they decided, yeah, we need to take him down. So, no. 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 There were a few others, but I can't quite think of them. So, given those big things that kept taking me out of the movie experience, I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Okay. Pretty close to what I did.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I got. Otherwise, very enjoyable movie. Very enjoyable. He did all the right things as a doctor, at least as far as I'm aware. So, everything that made sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I like it because there's so many times these movies, the characters are just stupid and you're just yelling at the screen. And this is not one of those movies, luckily. Like, the majority of the time, you're like, okay, yeah, this sounds like...
This sounds like a good play.
Yeah.
This is a good move.
Yeah. So, definitely a really good movie if you don't like when characters are dumb.
Yes.
But yeah. But thank you for joining us today, and let us know what you thought about the movie. And if you'd like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, you can leave us a comment or join our Discord server. And if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our link tree listed below.
And if you'd like to support us monetarily, we have a Teespring and a PayPal, or we have our affiliate link with Plum Deluxe available. It does not affect the price of the tea, it just allows us to continue to do what we love. You can find all of the sites mentioned linked below. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy. Bye!